Hi guys, and welcome to the May 2023 Power BI update. This isn't going to be a long video, but there is a lot of content. So this has taken us a long time to be able to get together and get right as we started exploring the new functions and features that are in this update. This update is massive. As you have probably noticed, there has been a big announcement of Fabric and OneLake and a few of these other technologies. What that has meant is that Power BI has come in line with a lot of those changes. So we are going to run through things fairly quickly, and I'm just going to point out the major things that will be of interest to our audience. But please know that there's the full blog, and in a lot of the articles, we've also had other links in there for those specific features, because this is a big one. But stick with us, and we will have a look at the update. Okay, so first of all, and probably the biggest thing in here, is we are talking about Power BI Direct Lake model. So essentially what this is it's introducing a new way of being able to store our data and then being able to access it. Why this becomes important for all of us on this call is that it's fundamentally a more efficient way of being able to access the data. So currently, we have two major methods of accessing our data. That's import, where we get a copy of the data and put it inside the model. What that means, it takes a while to source the data. We store it, and we might collect it, say, 3 or 4 times a day because of the volume of data, which means that there's a time lag to it, but it's really quick to analyze. Direct query, on the other hand, allows us to access the data in real time, but because we're fetching that data as we're using it, it means that the analysis is slow. Well, Direct Lake with OneLake is hoping to change how this all works by actually combining both of them together. So we get the speed and the functionality of an import, but with the real-time data of direct query. So this could be really, really cool for everyone, essentially, by moving to this new OneLake Fabric type model. So I think we'll probably do some more content on this into the future, just because there is so much that is happening with this that will be great for all of our clients. Next one, this will only apply to a couple, so I'm just going to touch on it. There is a new migration experience available moving towards Fabric. I'm not going to talk too much about this because for most people, you'll only do it once, but just know that there is a new migration service in there. So next is the general availability of the Optimize ribbon in Power BI Desktop. You'll note with this update, there's a lot of enhancements that are now going to general availability. We've talked about them in previous videos as preview features. So probably the biggest one in here is the ability to pause the visuals. So that's especially important when we're doing direct query, to be able to slow down the need to constantly refresh that data as we're trying to make visual changes. There's optimization presets, which a few people will use, but the ability to just have your way of setup for optimization in there. And apply all slices, we talked about a couple of months ago, as a great way to be able to change our visualizations without that constant refresh hell that happens when you try and change something and it then takes 10-15 seconds, sometimes longer, to then change. So this allows us to pause those changes, a bit like we used to do with the old pivot tables, till we've got it layout right, then we can refresh one or more visuals at a time. There are more articles that we've got linked there, especially from Microsoft Learn, about more functionality in there. Hybrid tables. Hybrid tables is a big one. And essentially what it allows us to do is stage the timing of the data. So we might have really old data in there that we have imported. So stuff that's not going to frequently change. And then we've got more recent stuff that is an incremental refresh, so that we are getting it on a fairly regular basis, once again using that import method, but then ability to do the direct query of the data so that we can see in real time, just refreshing that latest little bit of data. Now this has been in preview for a long time, but it's finally available as general availability. Passing over this one quickly, there's some log analytics for the Power BI datasets. They've also reached general availability as well. The one like Data Hub has been redesigned and rebranded. So you'll notice that there's a lot of things here where, because we're moving to a new terminology, a new Fabric and One Lake, there's a lot of things in here which are rebranding type initiatives. So there's more on that. Now that One Lake and Fabric have opened up other data connections, you'll actually see that the lineage, if you use lineage in your Power BI reports, has been updated to reflect those additional items as well. This one's probably going to catch some people out. The Power BI free user no longer exists. Well, it does exist. It's just called something different as part of this. So it is still there. It's still feature comparable. It's just called the Microsoft Fabric free user license now, rather than the Power BI free user license. So same conditions and restrictions in that one. With the release of Fabric, there are new Fabric connectors. So there'll be a Fabric category in the Get Data feature, which is going to have data flows, Power BI data sets, and data marts. Once again, there's going to be more about this come out in the future. We're seeing a big update now with the release of Fabric, bringing all the data together. Azure Maps now generally available. We haven't used Azure Maps to any huge degree currently, but what it's apparently going to give us is the ability to see, well, number one, a more unified experience. Also look at traffic overlays, heat maps and things like that, which could be really cool. And as we explore that, we might do a bit of a video on that as well if people would like. You do have to upgrade your visuals though as you do it. There's measure-driven data labels, which allow you to change the label dynamically. So that's pretty cool. In the update, we've got more information around there so that you can just make the reports a little bit more dynamic. This is probably another good one, is there is a better integration now with OneDrive and SharePoint. With a lot of people, it's always been a little bit of a pain to link to. A lot of times we're going into Power Query to change the direction and things like that. So it is one of those things that just makes life a lot easier. And there's quite the write-up that we've got in here around what it looks like, how you link, and things like that. So check out the blog for more detail on that. Next, there's some enhancements to the matrix visual. So this is all in the aim of improving accessibility. We like these kind of things. The more people that can use Power BI to help with their business, little enhancements like this is just what makes the product for us grow and become better over time. Also, and we've talked about this probably for the last 2 or 3 months, there's updates to the on-object interaction, still in preview. So look, really have a look at that as well. It can make that process easier, especially when we're talking to and guiding others in how to use Power BI reports. The ability to interact with it on the visual rather than always going to the panes can just make it a little bit easier. This is good for if you are dealing with, so setting query limits from Power BI Desktop. If you're working between Pro and Premium workspaces, this allows you to set limits so that you can essentially imitate what would happen if I publish this report to a Pro workspace or a Premium workspace. So we get we've got it linked down here. If you've ever got the dreaded visuals exceeded the available resources, once you publish it up and then you've got to fix it, well, being able to set those limits in the desktop app means that you get there a lot quicker before you publish the report, and you can see more easily which visual is causing you the issue before you publish it up to the client. There's a new match by function to allow better matching. We've got a bit of a description around that, including a code snippet from Microsoft. And then editing your data model in Power BI service. So more and more we're finding that more features are being brought into the Power BI service so that you can edit reports and edit data models now inside the web browser through the Power BI service. So this is really cool for tweaking those models and getting the real-time results while you're up there. And more we're seeing this functionality come up to Power BI service. Pretty cool stuff. As always, guys, we've got the full blog article linked down the bottom so that you can read through it, or we've got the article on our website as well. But if you've got any questions, you need help, you need some experts on Power BI, please give us a call, let us know, and we are more than happy to help. All right, talk soon and see you for the next Power BI update.